Started. Hi, thanks for coming. I'm Dimitri Gardner with the Lightning Jar. So a couple quick housekeeping items before we kick it off. For riders who need evaluation forms, we've got a pile on the table here. We've got some pens. I'm told bikers don't always bring pens with you. I don't know why, but that's what I was told. So if you need the Wi-Fi access, we've got that listed here on the front desk as well. So thanks again for coming. I think this is the fourth or the fifth year? Fourth year for Road Pitch here in Bennington. So our goal is to put on a stronger and stronger event each year. I hope you folks agree that this year will be our strongest. A little bit about the Lightning Jar. We're a local co-working space located at downtown Bennington. Our mission is to promote entrepreneurship and professional development in the region. And we know that business startups are a vitally important part of the new economy and incredibly important for growing the next generation of jobs and businesses here in Vermont. And Road Pitch is a huge part of that for us. So our mission ties directly with yours. So we appreciate the opportunity to be part of this. Brian McKenna has run this event for the last 3 years, so he's made my job really easy. So thank you, Brian, for teeing this up and making this such a great event. I want to just thank our sponsors really quickly, local sponsors, which I have not committed to memory, but thank you to the Bennington Museum, who's donated the space, Bennington Area Chamber of Commerce, serving the Shires of Vermont, Global Z International, VSCCU, which is the Lightning Jar's host organization, the Lightning Jar Co-working Space, GVH Studios, the Bank of Bennington, and DB McKenna and Company. So without those folks, this event couldn't be possible. And I also want to thank the judges for the preliminary round, which included Brian McKenna, Shannon McLenithan from the Bank of Bennington, and Matt Harrington from the Chamber. And a big thanks also to Jeffrey Thomas from Lever Inc. down in North Adams, Mass. We've been collaborating a fair amount with Jeffrey and Lever over the last year. And Jeffrey's provided a lot of personal coaching to the entrepreneurs that are going to be pitching today. So Jeffrey, thanks for your help. I think he's helped raise the bar. So if they're not as good as you like, blame me. If they're as good as you like, then thank Jeffrey. So with that being said, I'll hand it off to Karn, co-founder of Fresh Tracks Capital. Thank you.
I got a new look just for Road Pitch. And these guys are telling me it looks great, but I think they're just busting my chops. Yeah, my business partner's back there going, what?
No, we're very sincere, don't worry.
No, yeah. I know you guys are listening. So I'm Karn Cross. I'm the co-founder and managing director of Fresh Tracks Capital. We're a venture capital fund focused on Vermont. We make investments in early stage companies, and we've been in business now for 17 years, and we've made 42 investments. And Road Pitch is a creation of mine. And we get together a group of riders who are primarily entrepreneurs, business owners, some business advisors, and some investors. And we ride around the state. We stop in 10 towns, and by pre-arrangement, we listen to pitches, and then we pick a winner, and we award the winner. Peter, could you hold there? We award the winner a custom Vermont teddy bear whose name is Abbey Road Pitch. That's Pitch with a P. There's been a little bit of discussion about that. I just want to make sure that we get that right. Abbey Road Pitch Bear. We award $500, and then we also give the winner a chance to come to the final event, which will be hosted by another one of our sponsors, Champlain College, on October 19th. And there, the winner from here will pitch against the winners from all around the state for a $5,000 prize and the mentorship of this rider group as necessary through the next year. Now, remember that nobody pays anything for that mentorship, so it's free. You get what you pay for. We also have there's a stuffed dog over there. That's Tucker. Or in memory of Tucker. Tucker's unfortunately gone over the Rainbow Bridge, but it was the mascot dog of another one of our sponsors, Merritt, a law firm up in Burlington, Vermont. And so they made up a stuffed bear, or stuffed dog, Tucker, and we bring that around. So you get a couple of stuffed animals, $500, mentorship if you win at the great. I've only delivered this talk like 19 times and I still can't remember it. The Vermont Department of Economic Development is a statewide sponsor of ours. I know that Nick Grimley's here from the DED. He's from the government. He really is here to help you, truly. And I think Ed Williams was here, who's from PTAC, right? Yes, PTAC, which is also a part of the State Economic Development Department. Gallagher Flynn, a public accounting firm that focuses on entrepreneurial companies. Steve Trenholm is one of the partners there, and also one of the winners of the annual Broken Gear Shift Lever when you tip your bike over. Tom Meyer joined that club yesterday. I was the inaugural member. So, and Steve, thanks for joining us. We also have the Molten Law Group, which is a corporate sponsor of ours. And what I mean by that is we actually have an entity. It's called Pitch Vermont LLC. And it's a registered American Motorcycle Association motorcycle club. And this, believe it or not, is a sanctioned American Motorcycle Association ride. We have Social Sentinel, which is one of our Fresh Tracks portfolio companies. Gary Margolis, the CEO, is here. They are a threat assessment and monitoring company, so they monitor social media, assess threats for clients, and then help them evaluate and figure that out. And how are the threats against road pitch?
We're a little concerned. There's an account on social media from a woman named Jean, something
Yeah,
with
don't
horses.
listen.
There are some significant threats generated towards you. We're going to have
Don't
to
listen to Gene.
let the state police know what's going on a little bit.
Andrew Stickney, who's standing in the back there, is the CEO of Burlington Bikes, also one of our sponsors. Burlington Bikes builds our website, which is www.roadpitch.co. We don't have an M. We're a small organization. We can't afford the M, so it's a .co. Let's see, who have I missed? Inboldia, which is run by a gentleman named Mark Purrier. Inboldia is a statewide speaker series. Look for one in your area. He's moving around the state, and he's bringing in people from outside of Vermont to do interesting talks about entrepreneurship and young companies. And then the Key Bank is a sponsor of ours and has been right from the beginning. And Champlain College, I mentioned Tom Myers is here from Champlain, and they are the final, they are the sponsor of the final event. Josh Kenyon, who's our intern, just graduated from Champlain College. If anybody's got a great job, he's ready because he's been all well trained from road pitch, so he's ready to go. That's it. Did I forget anything? You guys have heard this. So.
It's a real check.
Oh yeah, it's a real check. We write a real $500 check. We don't give you a big fake check that you can't do anything with. If you win today, $500, you can take it down to the bank and cash it. Really, you can. Dimitri, you want to?
Good to go? Sure, great. Thanks, Byron. So let's kick it off. The first pitch is going to be Brent Heeringa from Vault. Take it away.
My name is Brent Heeringa. It's really nice to be here today. I'm very excited to tell you a little bit about Vault. How many of you in this room have found yourself in the following situation? You go to log into a website only to find that you've entered the incorrect username or password. Anyone? Yeah. Yeah, if you're like me, the first thing you do is you go and you open up your spreadsheet, right? You find your username and password there. Maybe it's a text file. Maybe it's a Post-it note behind your computer. You go, you enter it in, and you make some progress. Sure, you lost 15, 30 seconds, but actually more importantly, you lost your train of thought. You lost your focus. You lost your flow. Now, if you're also like me, sometimes when you go to look up your username and password, it's actually not there. Now, you have to recover your password. We all know about this process, right? You enter your email address in a form. You wait 15 seconds, maybe a minute to get that email. You get a link in the email, you click on the link, you go and you reset your password. Now you're in this vicious cycle that I like to call the forgotten password infinite loop. You go, you reset your password, you forget to write it down. You have to reset it again. The next day, you forget to write it down. Last month, this happened to me 5 days in a row on Netflix, right? It's a real loss of productivity. And these experiences, they're ubiquitous. We know that on average, 71% of people forget at least one password a month. And that when faced with the password recovery process, 90% of people would rather leave a website than actually go through that process. Right? So real money is being left on the table. If you're a retail website, this is a real problem. Now, fortunately, there's a solution to this problem. It's called password managers. And there are 3 big players in the field: Dashlane, LastPass, and 1Password. These products are strikingly similar. They take your usernames and passwords, and they encrypt them in a vault behind a single master password. They're all strikingly successful as well. Dashlane closed a Series C last year of $22.5 million with TransUnion. That was on top of a Series B of $22 million with Bessemer. LastPass sold to LogMeIn in 2015 for $110 million. 1Password, to the best of my knowledge, has not taken any venture money, but they have a dedicated user group, and they have a good product, and they're generating revenue. They're profitable. Toronto-based company. Now, here's what's amazing. Only 8% of internet users use a password manager. 92% of internet users do not use a password manager. So despite the fact that all of these companies have similar products, and despite the fact that they're all successful, they're not penetrating the market. We know through market research and our own Amazon Mechanical Turk surveys why. People worry about the security of password managers. They find them difficult to use. And here's the surprising thing. People don't know that they actually exist. In our own Amazon Mechanical Turk survey, of the 70% of people who don't use a password manager, 30% didn't know about them. In their comments, they'd say things like, wow, that sounds spectacular, sign me up. There's a lot of opportunity here. With Vault, we have the team and the platform to address all 3 of the primary issues why people don't use password managers. We generate a random master password for you. Random passwords are the only secure passwords, but random passwords are not memorable. What we do, though, is translate that random password into a set of images. Our images are highly curated and they're memorable. For example, here's a kid getting hit in the face with a balloon. Super memorable. We pair that image with some copy. The copy is a fact based on the image, and we also prompt the user to engage in the image by tapping on some distinguishing feature of the image. In this case, it's the red balloon. What we do here is employ the so-called dual encoding theory of the psychology community. It says that information is stored along both a visual and a linguistic channel. By using the copy and the image, we build a robust memory in your mind, one that you won't forget. After we've trained you on these images, we embed the images in a sequence of grids. By selecting your images from the grids, you unlock your vault. Now, we synchronize your vault with the desktop. You click on the vault icon in your browser, you unlock your vault, and now all your passwords are available to you. In addition, if you go to sign up for a new account, you type in your username, type in your email address, Vault generates a random password for you, and it automatically saves it to your Vault. We notify you that we've saved this information using built-in desktop notifications. This is in contrast to all the existing solutions out there. All the existing password managers roll their own UI, UX elements. We don't do that. We use stuff that's proven. Now, after you have generated a password, you go back to a website where Vault knows about your information. You go to log in. Vault will enter your credentials for you. And you're logged in. It's simple, secure, it's seamless. We provide passwords for people. Our initial foray is going to be in the consumer market. We built the iOS application, we built browser extensions for Chrome and Safari. While the application will be free, we'll charge you an annual fee of $24 for synchronization, so that if you enter a password on your browser, you'll get it on your phone and vice versa. Over the next year, we'll expand into Android, we'll create browser extensions for Firefox and Internet Explorer, and we'll also begin some support for Windows. In addition, we think that there are 2 exciting channels and potential sources of revenue for Vault that are specific to Vault. The first is memory games. Memory games will allow our users to engage with their images over a long period of time and help build upon those robust memories. In addition, we think image sets are an exciting opportunity because they allow you to tailor your audience to affinity groups, and there's also branding opportunities. Imagine you're Botcraft, and you develop an image set for the New England Patriots. All your fans want it. Maybe you're Coca-Cola, Nabisco, Tide. You could create custom image sets where product placement occurs within the photos. There's just many opportunities that are here because photos, images are central to our platform. Okay? Lots of opportunities. We'll take our success in the consumer market and we'll use that to appeal to a large number of target users. Our initial number, our realistic number, is 100,000 users by the end of the first year. And using a fairly conservative BaaS model, we hope to do around 8 million in revenue at the end of 5 years. These numbers are in thousands. After our success in the consumer market, we hope to enter the enterprise market. Our focus initially will be on small and medium-sized businesses. We want to help the CEO of a 50-person company provide an increase in productivity to their employees. That company pays an IT professional to sit at a help desk and reset passwords half of their day. Let's take that IT professional and have them focus on tasks that really make a difference. Let's make sure that these companies who employ 5 to 10 software packages can actually use their products, right, without having to go and talk to that IT professional. Over the next 5 years, following LastPass's growth model, we hope to do about 22 million. We've raised 150K in revenue so far. That's our pre-seed round. And right now we're looking to raise 500K in a seed round. We've raised about 100K so far in this seed round. We're 5 employees. We've got a burn rate of about $42,000 at full salary. We've all been working at half salary for the last year. We have an incredible team. I'm a professor of computer science at Williams College. I'm taking 2 years off to focus on Vault. I had previous startup experience in the advertising world, in the tech advertising world with Aberflex and Fixu. My co-founder is Kaylee Pryor. She spent 5 years at the mobile ad tech firm Fixu, climbing to senior VP of product. Andrew Hannon, I've known for 15 years, and I've worked with him at 2 different companies and with 3 different languages. He's an exceptional developer. We're joined by Seth Wynn, who's our UI UX person. I've worked with him for 10 years, and Aaron Frary, who's a recent Harvard grad. We're advised by Jamie Gallup and Mika Adler. This is an exciting team. It's the team that I would pick if I had any choice. We're Vault. In fact, I'd love to take your questions. Barn will facilitate questions.
So here's the way the question and answer works for those of you that are attending this for the first time. I'll call on people that raise their hands from the rider group. It will be the rider group that I call on only. And we'll let Brent answer the questions and we'll go from there. Julie, you're first.
So it looks like your a person's combination is basically a puzzle of pictures that they can memorize far greater. And you said you have an advertising opportunity because you can embed commercial images into these things that companies may find. But if I were looking as a consumer on your product and on your first market, I would say, okay, I like it, I need it, I don't know about it, so I agree with your premise. But the combination of photographs that are going to be most memorable to me is if I upload the photographs. So I see that as if you need that thing, because I was like, okay, the combination is, I don't know how many photos make the combination, but if it's 4, like a typical code on a door, I'll just put my family. I'll never forget that. And then what happens to your revenue models?
Good, okay, so there's a few questions in there. Let me first address the idea of using your own photos. This is something we thought intimately about. There are some security concerns, right? If you use your own photos and somebody knows, say, for example, your children, they could recognize your children in the grids. And so the images that aren't yours, they would say, oh, okay, I know this is Julie's daughter, this is Julie's son, this is Julie's dog, this is Julie's refrigerator. I'm going to select those, right? So there are some security concerns there. We are thinking of creative ways of getting around that. Okay? One includes prompting you to take photos of things that we could crowdsource, like the inside of your fridge. Take a photo of the inside of the fridge, you know it. We can crowdsource the rest of the images. Other people won't know it. That said, I want to take issue with something you said. The photos that we select are memorable, and in fact, they're as memorable as photos that you know. There's a large wealth of research, 50 years of psychology and cognitive science research that proves that. I can show you a picture of a dog and a picture of somebody smoking a pipe. Those aren't memorable. But if I show you a picture of a dog smoking a pipe, and then a month later show you 2 images, the dog smoking the pipe and a beach scene, with 99% accuracy, you will say, oh yeah, dog smoking the pipe. One thing I'm confident about is showing you photos that you will remember.
Dave?
Very cool. Nice presentation.
Thank you.
And I'm not a big IT guy, but just hearing what goes on, how is it not that the Chrome browser and whatnot records the history of those things that allows it to replicate those images and the passwords?
Good, okay. So the browser itself, right, we're using a browser extension. It's JavaScript that's running, you're right, inside the Chrome browser, but you do have to trust Google at the end of the day not to record your images. That said, you also need to, you would need to trust Apple that it's not recording anything. So I think we can put our trust at least in Google and Apple not to be doing that. If they were doing that, I think they would lose their entire market, right? Actually, I think there's no incentive for them to be actually recording our images. That I'm not worried about. What I am worried about are malicious agents coming in and trying to do man-in-the-middle attacks. Our technology actually is quite cool. We actually run a desktop application, and we try to keep everything in that desktop application, and we only communicate over a secure channel to the browser when we need the information. The browser is like the Wild West, and so we want to have the least amount of footprint there as possible, and that's what we do.
Gary?
It's a great presentation.
Thank you.
So I'm one of the 8% that does. I'm a 1Password guy.
Yeah.
Been for years now.
Yeah, I bet you love it.
And my wife isn't, and she's one of the 92%. And I've had to learn not to get frustrated any longer when she's having me reset a password for her. So I get that. This is where that goes. So I have two questions. One is on the financial side. I didn't, you flashed the numbers up pretty quick, so I didn't have a chance to dive into those, but you're raising $500,000 at what valuation?
Yeah, good. So we're looking at a $4 million cap. I think we're going to use a safe with an 80% discount rate.
Okay. And 1Password has moved in, as an example, others as well, of being a vault for all kinds of information
Yes.
beyond passwords. You know, I've got my family's passports in it, I've got all kinds of notes and secure stuff, so it's more for me than just a password. What's your development plan, knowing you're now competing with services that would have more than just the password recovery process?
Yeah, we actually do need to feature match all of those the competitors out there, and our plan is to do exactly that. So the technology, after we've built the images and we've built the synchronization, which we've already done, adding those features, it just takes time, and we can do that. That said, we think the primary motivation for using these tools is passwords. And so if we can attract a user base using passwords and then keep adding in these features, we think we'll retain those users, but we'll also attract new features. I actually don't think that we're out there trying to recruit 1Password, LastPass, and Dashlane users. I think the 8% of the market, along with a suite of other tools, let those people continue to use those tools. There's 92% of the market out there. I want the person who doesn't know about a password manager to come on board. I want the person who's thinking, I really should use a password manager, but I just haven't found the thing that is kind of a right fit for me.
If these three companies potentially value, if you add them up, somewhere to $1 billion, right? I mean, or more in terms of what they're doing, and they've got all that money and only 8%, how are you going to go after the 92% of people that you think they aren't going to use them, that they've out-resourced you on in terms of being able to fund that?
That's the hardest question I'm going to get today, I'm sure, right? User acquisition is the biggest nut, right, to tackle, right, to crack. Here's what I can tell you, right? There's no simple solution to it. There's no out-of-the-box solution. What I can sell you on is that we will look at existing markets, things like personal finance, and we'll use companies like Mint, who've gone in and developed products that are superior to the existing solutions, right? And then gone and acquired users at a big rate. We want to copy things that we've seen work before in other markets. The other thing that I can sell you on is that this is an exceptional team. It's a team that collectively has over 30 years in mobile ad tech experience. We understand paid media better than anybody else. And so part of what I'm doing here is actually asking you to put your trust in this team because we are gritty, we understand how to work hard, we've done it before. We can do it again.
There may be one more question. Ed had his hand up.
You mentioned the awareness issue. Do you know how much traffic you have to drive and what are you going to do differently than the people? You touched on it there with customer acquisition.
Yeah.
What's the cost? What do you think? How are you going to drive people to the site?
So we've done some initial experiments. We actually released the iOS app just in Australia. We did that because iTunes now, or sorry, the App Store now has a keyword search product where you can advertise, and we just wanted to test that market. We spent $100 a week just to play around, and we were already able to get the user acquisition cost down to $10. Now, that may seem like a lot, but it's actually pretty good given the amount of experiments we've done. I'm pretty sure we can optimize paid media on Facebook, Google, as well as on the App Store. That said, while we can do well in that channel, we're gonna also have to do well in conventional inbound marketing. Here's where I think we have an advantage. We're sexy password management. When you're reading an article in the New York Times, and it happens every month, you should be using a password manager. Try Dashlane, try 1Password, try LastPass. It's gonna be so easy for them to say, oh, there's also Vault. It's image-based. This is something that you can remember. It's qualitatively different. We have that opportunity right now because of the images. We'll also pursue things like podcasts, right? I mean, we know. I was listening to Alex Bloomberg on Reply All. He got hacked. His Uber account got hacked, right? At the end of that episode, he's talking to his producer. You ready to take the plunge into password managers? Not yet. I want to get him. We actually have an in with Alex Bloomberg, and I want him to start using Vault on his show. But it's going to be a lot of just scrappiness, but we're ready to do it.
So we're out of time, Dimitri?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Southern Vermont Distillers.
Just want to say thank you, Dimitri, Fresh Tracks, everyone here today. Thank you very much. I'm Chris Johnson. This is my wife, TC. We're opening Southern Vermont Distillers here in Bennington. We're opening a distillery because craft has matured into a real category. We see an opportunity in the marketplace. We also see an opportunity here in Bennington. It's a pretty cool town. Big industry suppliers are acquiring successful craft brands right now. They're doing that to address their loss of market share to small producers. Last year, the liquor industry generated $25 billion in the US. Spirits continue to show solid growth. They were up by volume 4.5% last year. So craft is the strongest segment in the liquor industry, and craft producers generated $2.4 billion in retail revenue last year. So in that industry, whiskey is the strongest growth category. And our whiskey style has a long history and a huge following. But the fact is, it's underrepresented in the craft marketplace. It is a underserved category. And we have a plan mapped out. We know the steps to take to grow from 600 cases in year 1 to selling 21,000 cases in year 5. We're going to generate $6.6 million in revenue. That's going to be about $2 million in profit in that 5th year. We're going to break even in the first quarter of year 3.
So whiskey is profitable for sure, but we also believe that whiskey is personal. It's personal to Chris and I, and we're dedicated to making Vermont whiskey here in Bennington. And that's because people care about what they drink and what they eat and who made it. And our story from grain to glass is about ethical production, non-GMO ingredients, and local farmers. So that really matters to us. It's this transparency that really resonates with our target consumers. And our master distiller, he's going to use an old world recipe, and he's going to triple distill corn and barley, creating complex layers and a smooth finish. After that, because 80% of the flavor comes from time and barrel, we age in ex-bourbon barrels and sherry casks. Bennington, we think the climate here is really, Southern Vermont is perfect for barrel aging. History, art, and science are what whiskey comes from, and we believe that from farm to table, whiskey's personal.
So, whiskey is our flagship product. However, whiskey takes time. And truth is, this is a startup business. We have a clear spirit line ready, designed, and ready to generate revenue quickly. What sets us apart is our experience, our knowledge, and our contacts in the industry. We know how to make a whiskey, bring it to market, and sell it like the industry leaders, and we're going to do that from day one.
Yeah, by embracing America's 3-tier distribution system, we believe we can take our craft mainstream. We're going to achieve that goal by taking proven industry strategies and applying them to the strongest categories, growth categories in the craft industry.
So I have 20 years of small business experience in real estate, property management, about 10 years of bar and restaurant management experience as a buyer also. I've had plenty of exposure to the industry in my family's chain of small liquor stores. However, TC has been in the liquor industry distribution business for 20 years. Most importantly, she has a proven track record of bringing new brands to market.
Thank you. My background is beverage sales and distribution. I've represented the biggest brands and the smallest producers, all while working for the largest distributor in this country, Southern Wine and Spirits. For the past 8 years, I've been on the dedicated teams for Pernod Ricard and Diageo. These guys are the two biggest suppliers in the industry, and I've managed their portfolios over multiple high-profile territories. I meet goals, I've taken market share, and I'm known for building relationships. I've created profitable beverage programs. I've trained hundreds of industry people on how to understand wine and spirits and upsell them. And I've sold thousands and thousands of cases. I'm a level 1 certified sommelier. I've got my Bar Smarts Live certification, a member of the Tahona Society. This is a little joke there. It is true though. And I've sold, like I said, thousands and thousands of cases. My first whiskey seminar was with Jim Beam's great-great-great-grandson back in the day. And the reason I'm telling you all this and about myself is because managing big brands while introducing new innovation brands, it's what I do, it's what my career is. And opening Southern Vermont Distillers is just the next smart step in my career. This is my industry. And though everyone who's in craft wants to earn a gold medal, I want to make the next big brand, and we want to put it on the market and go big.
So we're going to achieve that goal through a number of strategies. We have let's just look at the craft industry right now. Currently, craft occupies 2% of the market, and it's expected to reach 8% by 2020. We see an opportunity to grow sales and expand into new markets and improve national traction for our brands and our products. As the craft market share continues to grow, we will be positioned to take our brands mainstream. We have a master distiller, 2 brand managers, an industry experienced controller, and a graphic designer. We're going to continue to spot trends and bring targeted brands to market. We're going to create and maintain strong revenue and margins. We're going to be a successful standalone business. However, the acquisition is really the focus of our exit strategy. For example, Heaven Hill Brands recently bought the Deep Eddy Distillery for $350 million, and Constellation Brands just bought High West Whiskey for $160 million. They did about 72,000 cases that year. So, interesting industry.
But it's only with the right investors and partners that we're going to be able to launch with the resources to make a superior product, embrace fully digital marketing and distributor programming, and this way we can build brands and grow quickly in multiple states. So, let's do the numbers.
So, we will utilize capital in the following manner. We have startup and equipment budget of $457,000. We have a working capital budget of $497,000. Total funding requirements of $954,000. We have 2 committed investors. We're pursuing a loan with Granite State Development for hard assets. From a valuation standpoint, comparable sales and acquisitions of other craft distilleries and craft brands supported a valuation of about $1 million per 1,000 cases sold. We forecast 10 times return on investment. We're excited to be offering 40% of our company, 4,000 shares, at $200 a share to raise $800,000 to fund this project. Believe it or not, this is an MVP ask. It may sound large, but this model is actually an answer to meeting production goals at an economic level. The economy of scale comes into place, and we also need to have the marketing budget to compete with the big boys. So as much as we're here to talk about whiskey, budgets, and dollars, we're really here to talk to you guys. So we're excited for this opportunity, excited to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much.
Heidi?
Your first loan, was it 800,000? Did you have favorable, the slide before, did you get favorable terms?
That's a loan. $800,000 is what we're looking for to raise.
Oh, Granite State, is it?
We are pursuing a loan with Granite State. Granite State will lend 80/20 on fixed assets, infrastructure, like HVAC, fire suppression. So we're pursuing a loan through Granite for fixed
So
assets.
you've got to come up with capital before they'll.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we also are really open to different ideas. I think that you guys bring a lot more to the table than we do in the financial world. Yes, sir.
Are we making whiskey now?
No, we're not. The truth is, this is the country that brought you prohibition. So there's a lot of hoops to jump through, and we're building with potential energy at the moment. Let's look at it that way. That we're really putting the team together, but we want to launch these brands and launch our business. You only have the first opportunity, or one opportunity to make a first impression.
Savant, I think you're next.
Good luck to you guys. This is a hard but fun industry. Where are you in some of that development? Are you started permits? Do you have space? How are you guys thinking about that timeline? And then once you get into your product mix, how much of it is whiskey? How long do you plan on aging that for? What are the other beer spirits to complement that?
Absolutely. We do have a great space rented here, 127 River Street, right next to the farmer's market, across the street from the fire station. So really a great central location. Although a little off the question, we're not focused as much on being a destination or a storefront as we are being a economic and viable factory. We plan on selling cases to Boston and New York, not bottles here in Bennington. This really is an economic center for us.
So I think, to catch up on that, is, yes, we have a place and we have some team members and some investors, but we have not made application because it all kind of comes together. You need the serial number off the still to apply, you need the money to get the still, so it's kind of it all goes together. But we certainly have a strong business plan that maps that out for us, and we're ready to pull the trigger. As far as our liqueur lines, once again, we've looked at categories that we see as great opportunity based on the regular industry sales, not craft, and categories that people have not tapped into. They're a little bit proprietary now, but if anybody wants to talk about those more offline, we're happy to get into more detail. Does that answer your question?
And I did have another thought as well, sorry. We are working with some other distillers here in the state. We're looking at options of bringing product to market more quickly through our Clear Spirit line. But we do intend to have our whiskey spend 24 months in a barrel. It certainly, we joke that time makes whiskey.
Yeah. And for those of you that may or may not know, it's illegal to distill. You know, you can make beer and wine as a citizen, but it's illegal to distill without a permit. So yes, we've worked with a few things with other distillers, but as far as producing our own brands, we haven't done it for that reason. We're
It's
all
about compliance as well.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry.
I'm a fan of this product line.
Yeah.
So I know there are a lot of different types of whiskeys out there. And how do you stand out in your product?
Absolutely.
You know what? We stand out because we've chosen a category that has not yet been tapped. It's a popular category. Again, offline, we can talk a little more. It's a popular category that's not tapped. We have pricing, packaging, placement, advertising, and the ability to get it in with My Connections can get us with distributors very quickly. So we think that makes us stand apart. Does that answer your question enough?
Charlie.
Can you show us a sample of the packaging or branding, the mock-ups?
Not here.
Designs?
Yeah, I'm sorry, we've got a graphic artist that's working on all that and taking all our sketches and kind of making it a little bit more real, but we didn't bring any of that to show you today. My apologies.
And we do have a logo that's trademarked with the state of Vermont.
Do you have that here on the slide?
We don't. It's launching, it kind of gives away our brand. It is very representative of our product, and it's something that we're not comfortable out sharing the secret yet.
But, Richard?
Yeah, so kind of supplementary question. So it's an interesting market, I see a deal of doing this. But what makes you think you've got a product that's going to really, stand out? Have you done some formulation or
Absolutely.
testing or?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, it really does come back from our biggest ground to stand on is our marketing and sales experience. To be able to provide outstanding customer service, not only to a consumer, but selling at the retail level, selling at the wholesale level.
Yeah, I get all of that, but you don't really have a product, so
It's, if I may jump in, our product is It doesn't compete with bourbon, which is North American spirits, so the #1 brown spirit going on in this country, but it is the strongest import category that hasn't been tackled by the craft market. Does that help a little bit?
Well, what is that?
I can't tell you, my friend. I know, that sounds so mysterious. You know what, it's proven, and there's a lot of cases there. And you didn't answer everything for you. What were you getting at back there?
No, I mean, it's just, you have this proprietary thing, like that's the crux of everything that you're operating from, like you have this big differentiation
Yeah.
in an industry that is quite diluted, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
I think there's a ton of craft distilleries and spirits that are cropping up everywhere. So how are we to believe that this can be valuable to invest in?
Well,
Take that.
Well,
And-
take that.
Well, and it is the idea, it's hard to believe, we've actually identified 2 different categories, one in the whiskey market and then another in the liqueur market, that are huge categories. And you would say, really, there's no one else doing, there's one other craft distillery in the United States, 1,300 distilleries, that is producing the liqueur we're gonna go after. And it's not even remotely in this part of the country.
Should we talk absinthe or something? Like,
No, it's such a better
Everyone
category.
here has
Matt.
drank it, I
It's something
bet.
that-
Yeah.
It sits on every bar.
I'd save you guys a little bit and say, if she's got the connections, you guys can make swill and it's not gonna matter. If she can get it through everywhere she's gotta get it through, she's
Yeah.
got all the distribution connections and all that, then I'm exaggerating by swill. but my point
No,
is-
it's all good. You know what? You don't have to be the best brand to be the biggest brand. And yes, everything you're saying, and we apologize. We apologize for being discreet about our stuff, but we don't have our still in place, and we don't want it out there on camera what we're making because somebody else can maybe jump on it. I think, and again, if anybody is interested in our business plan, it maps it out there, and we're happy to email that to you. Just let us know after this event, and we can show you more. But it really does come down to that. We want you to know that we're just committed to quality. We're committed to local farms. We're committed to transparency from grain to glass, which is not always what's happening in this business. The liqueur line offers us a way to pay the bills while the whiskey's aging, and then we are going to take advantage of. I'm very lucky. I know many people in the industry from coast to coast, whether they are premier bartenders or whiskey reviewers and judges on competitive panels like San Francisco Spirit Awards, or the CEOs at Southern Wine and Spirits across the country. I mean, it's a wonderful, I'm so proud to have worked for them for all these years because they encourage this kind of growth in their house and outside of it, and they're ready to partner with us. I've had a few get back to me when you got it, so we'll talk then. So we do feel that that is what stands us apart. We've got that in. Yeah.
Great. I think we're pretty much out of time.
Thank you very much.
So the next pitch, we've got Doug Paddock with the Plico Feeder.
Sorry.
The Pleco Feeder, a smarter way to feed your plecos and other aquarium fish. To use the Pleco Feeder, simply screw a piece of fresh fruit or vegetable onto the end. Then place the Pleco Feeder in your tank for your fish to enjoy. The Pleco Feeder is a fun and easy way to feed your fish a variety of fresh, easily digestible foods that will make them healthier, happier, and breed more easily. Buy yours today.
Hi, I'm Doug Paddock, and I've been involved in the aquarium hobby for the past 38 years. I developed the Pleco Feeder as an easy way to feed plecos without getting your hands wet. As you can see from the pictures, plecos come in a variety of shapes, sizes, and colors, just like people. Pleco is short for Plecostomus, and it's basically a sucker mouth catfish. The ones with whiskers on the ends of the nose are usually the males. The problem with keeping aquarium fish is getting them the nutrients they need. Flake food alone will not provide them enough nutrients so they can thrive. In the wild, fish eat a varied diet, and it's your job as a fish keeper to mimic this as much as possible. Good fish keepers know this, and as you can see in the photos, they've developed a variety of solutions to get fresh vegetables to their fish, from using a bamboo skewer, attaching it to a rock with a rubber band, paper clip, a rivet, and even kitchen cutlery. Okay, here's a better solution. Made in Syracuse, New York, from 316 stainless steel and food-grade silicone rubber, the Pleco Feeder will provide a lifetime of service for fresh or marine aquariums. And although I developed this product to feed plecos, I soon learned that all fish benefit from having a varied diet. And as you can see in the videos that my customers have shared with me, they've learned that as well. To date, I've sold approximately 2,500 units. That's about 2 a day since 2013. I have 1,500 units on hand and I'm on track to be profitable. Each unit, as you see, it costs me $4.60 to make. That's with me putting it in the packaging. Retail, the small sell for $19.99 and the large for $24.99. In the United States, the pet industry has consistently grown $2 to $3 billion per year for the past 22 years. It's estimated that 12.6 million homes have an aquarium. That's a potential $250 million market. I've sold to over a dozen countries around the world. Looking worldwide, just at the top 10, 24 million homes have an aquarium. That's an estimated $480 million market. All total, this is a potential $730 million market. Started as an idea in 2011, the Pleco feeder went through many design changes before coming up with the final design that you see before you. In August of 2013, I went into production of 1,000 small units. After that, the #1 question I got from customers was, do you have a larger one? So in June 2014, we went into production on the larger unit. In December 2014, I was issued a pack. The packaging also went through a similar design process. I market the Pleco feeder by attending trade shows, selling on my own website, Amazon, eBay, as well as advertising in Amazonas, an aquarium hobby magazine, and I also attend local aquarium events. There are other products that are similar in the market. I feel the Pleco feeder has a main advantage in that you can screw almost any size food onto the end of it, and you don't have to get your hands wet because it hangs easily on the side of the tank. The Screwcumber seems to be a small company like myself. It seems to exist only over in England. Most of the major aquarium manufacturers, they have a product called the Veggie Clip, and it exists in some form of that. It has a suction cup or a magnet to hold it on the tank. Clay Food Hooks, it seems to be a small independent person who's making these individually. And the most recent product in the market is the Best Veggie Clip, which is really a veggie clip attached to a piece of plexiglass with a zip tie. I've had amazing feedback from my customers, and I have almost all 5-star reviews on Amazon. I'd like to read one to you. This is an amazing product. We first bought one, and we were so happy with it, we bought another one. We hang one on each side of the tank so our fish can have a chance and don't have to push. We love it because our clips, many different brands, kept on breaking, and I didn't like getting my hands wet. The pet industry in the USA has consistently grown by about $3 billion a year for the past 22 years. Worldwide, the numbers are much larger. I've invented a product, brought it to market, sold 2,500 units. Feedback has been overwhelmingly positive from my customers as well as people in the industry. Quite simply, I've created a product that people love, fills a need, and are willing to buy. I know my product and I know my customer base, but I'm limited by how much time I can invest into this business. I need a business partner who sees the potential in what I've created so far and will work with me to bring it to the next level. Thank you for your time.
Mike, why not just drop the food in the tank?
By using the feeder, you can easily retrieve it as any biological organism, and it will degrade over time. So basically, if you screw any fruit or vegetable on it, you can place it in the tank. I usually recommend to customers to not leave it in for more than 24 hours. Then you can pull it right out. Dropping it in the tank, you're still getting your hands wet.
What if you leave it in there? Does it turn into something bad in the tank?
Yeah, it will pollute it, and it does turn into bush. Sometimes when I bought zucchini at the supermarket, in one day it gets fuzzy. Not even, I mean hours. I get it from the farmer's market, and I've left it in there for a week. You know, you need to also know your fish and your tank. You know, I have some tanks where I can leave it in there, and other tanks where I know I need to take it out more quickly.
Ellen?
Two-step question. First of all, nice presentation.
Thank you.
Two-step question. What percentage of your sales are direct to retail and what percentage are wholesale is the first question. And then the second question is, you gave us your cost and your retail price, but you didn't talk about a wholesale price. What is your wholesale price?
My wholesale prices are 12 and 15 for the small and the large. And predominantly my sales are all retail. I do have a few fish stores that are wholesale customers. You know, there's a couple, there's out in Portland, here, over in Albany, and another one in Chicago. Those are my regulars. You know, again, that's a huge untapped market.
So it's not just plecos, I mean, other species of fish.
I started it just plecos, that's why I called it the pleco feeder, and I soon learned that it goes beyond this. When a guy sent me a video, discus or big fish because they look like disc, and he was feeding beef heart to his discus off, and I was like, wow, look at this.
So could that be a broader market that it's made narrow by using the pleco name? Could you have some kind of a larger marketing ploy? I see other fish up there too, so.
I have considered that, and I'm not completely close to the idea, but it's the name. It's the name. You know, the market even goes beyond to saltwater fish. A lot of saltwater aquariums still feed vegetables and lettuce. So again, it's just there's a lot of potential here.
Yeah. So your cost, and you showed us them. It was just under $5 to make these.
Yes. And that's at a 2,000 unit run.
Are you making these by hand? That seems super expensive for, you know, it looks nicely simple and there's not too much packaging. Are there ways that you can get this cost of this way down and start making it bigger scale, or?
Yes, one of the things, and personally I would like to just thank the Vermont Small Business Development Center. I've been working with Brian DeClue since this was an idea, and he's been a tremendous help to me. But one of the things he said to me one time, well, what if that factory burns down over in Syracuse? So I went looking, and there is a different machine that this can be made on, and I was getting quotes back at half the price of the cost of the actual unit. You know, the packaging I have to get from Japan, the rubber parts from China. The rubber parts I have to get from China. I can't find anybody to work with me here unless I'm doing 50,000 units.
Anything stainless is pricey though.
Yes.
Pricey.
Eric.
I might have missed this, sorry. What are you looking for not necessarily like the number, but the number and for what?
Oh, what's my ask?
Yeah.
I'm at this point, I'm looking for a business partner, somebody who has, you know, someone who can augment and work with me to help grow this business.
Okay, you have cash flow, you're just trying to blow it up?
You know, this business can continue the way it is, and I'll probably make a few $1,000s a year, you know, doing a few things in my living room at night in front of the TV, and I honestly don't have to do a lot of effort. But when I look at the numbers of aquariums that are in the world, and if we can just educate customers a little bit more, and based on my customer feedback, I feel like this product could really grow and then eventually sell it to one of the large companies, because that's what they do. You know, this is done, it's developed.
Yeah,
I've done all the work.
Thank you.
What does it take to get this in actual pet stores? You know, you have to pay, you know, fees or, you know, distributor. How can you start getting this into thousands of stores across the country on the shelf?
That's something that I honestly probably need a little bit of help with. All right, the pet stores, I've approached the one at Albany. The other ones have approached me when they've seen me at a trade show. There's a big aquarium trade show in Chicago every year. That's something that I honestly could use a little bit of help with. The stores that have repeatedly bought from me are the ones that I give samples and they actually put them in the tank and the customers see and they buy them. And then they say, can you send us more and a few more samples, because we sold all of our samples as well. Did that answer your question? You know, I've tried to work with some distributors. All right, I've sent numerous emails, and you know, it's kind of like when I was first starting this, nobody wanted to talk to me. When it was just an idea, the reason I've stuck with the company in Syracuse is because every 3 to 6 months, that woman who I initially contacted, hey, how are things going? Are you ready to move forward? And I'd have a new design. You saw all the different designs. I must have asked her for 4 or 5 different quotes. And every time I had a different design, sometimes it was a secondary operation. So all of a sudden the cost doubled. You know, so that was all part of the design process. So part of the reason I work with them is because she gave me the time of day. You know, and so I can't always find that. I've been given names and contacts of distributors. I send emails and people don't get back to me. Like I said, I only have so much time. I teach over here at the high school, and so I'm looking for somebody who can provide me, and work with me so we can grow this together.
Other questions?
What's your end game goal? Do you want to do this as a full-time job? Do you teaching? Do you want to build a company, sell it? Or do you want to keep it as a hobby business?
I'd like to build up the company and sell it. I enjoy teaching. I've been doing it for 20 years, and to be perfectly honest, I especially enjoy it in the summers. So. It's taken a long time. I've gotten to the point where my salary is somewhat comfortable, and and I've invested a lot of my life into it. I have multiple degrees and a lot of education behind me. So.
Got time, I think, maybe for one more question, if there is one.
Come on, one more.
You have fish yourself?
Yes, I've actually just, as part of my time thing, I had 30 tanks and I've just downsized to 6. Wow. See, but if you're involved in the hobby, that's not uncommon. I know people who have fish houses. They build a separate house on their property for all their tanks. People who are in the hobby, every horizontal space ends up getting taken up. Yes, sir.
You said you have a patent?
Yes, I do.
And have you evaluated this business if somebody came in and wanted to buy this?
I did speak to a gentleman who sells businesses up in Burlington, Vermont. His name escapes me now. And I was just short of, I was just under, it was probably close to 40,000 in sales at the time. And he said, he just couldn't give it a valuation to move forward yet. He said, I think you just need more time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Touch behind schedule, so we're going to just try to keep things moving. So, folks, thank you. So we're going to move on to our next pitch. We've got Randy Anselmo with Be Well. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. My name is Randy Anselmo, and I'm really excited to tell you about my business, my new company called Be Well, and I can get this to go to business. What we do is we use telemedicine as a tool to provide high-quality health and psychological services to students of small colleges, boarding schools, and camps. We do that when and where they need it. We do it with little or no cost to the institution. Real quickly, before I dive in, I'll tell you about myself. I'm a family doctor by training. I've been involved in college health for 24 years. The last 14 of that's been at Bennington College as the Director of Health Services. In my spare time, I work for 3 telemedicine companies providing online care, and I have a degree in business administration. So telemedicine is it's a rapidly growing thing. It has been proven to be effective. It is a disruptive form of healthcare delivery, but not everybody knows about it yet. So if you haven't heard of it, put this definition, and basically what it's telling you is you have a patient in one place, a healthcare provider in another place, and they're having an interaction using modern telecommunications technology. So, big problem I'm trying to solve is that these students, residents of these small institutions, are traditionally medically underserved. The institutions don't see themselves as providers of healthcare; they're providers of education, and they tend not to put a lot of resources into the providing provision of care on campuses. We combine this with the fact that students get sick more frequently than their peers. And that students consistently rank health and psychological problems as their main impediments to academic success. So a couple of years ago, before I knew about telemedicine, I heard from a local trustee from another college, and she wanted to see if there was some way that we could provide care for both schools, to combine resources, do some collaborative consumption. And we thought, great idea. But when we sat down and looked at the logistics of it, it just really wasn't possible for me to be in 2 places at once. Shortly after that, I got a call from a student from another college, just cold called me, and her college had completely done away with health services, and she was looking for solutions. I had to tell her that small schools are in competition with online education. They're just trying to survive, and these are the things that sink to the bottom of the list when they're trying to make cuts. You hear this story over and over again on listservs, forums, meetings from other colleagues and from students. So what's the answer? The answer is to be in all those places at once and tell them that this makes this possible. We didn't have a tool before to get to these students. So here's just a basic example of a concept. And so for instance, we take these 5 schools in southern Vermont. I just put them up there because I'm familiar with them. They're local. But this could be a map of Illinois. It could be a map of the US. It could be a map of the world. So if we add up the students at each one of those schools, we get about 3,600 students. And that's what you need to keep one family doctor busy for a year. So what we're doing is we're grabbing an efficiency by pooling from these different schools the patient flow and serving those students. This full-time equivalent doctor is also just conceptual. This could be one doctor serving these specific 5 schools, but a lot of the technology that's out there right now works like Uber for doctors. So this could be many doctors working at once. We have some options there and how we do that. Okay, so I started thinking about this because it was up close and personal for me and my students, but then I started looking into the scope of it. About 1.25 million students are served by what I define as small colleges, about 100,000 students at boarding schools, 11 million kids attend camps each summer in the US. This is a highly insured market. These kids can stay on their parents' health insurance up to age 26 thanks to the Affordable Care Act. And it's an underpenetrated market. This is sort of side by side, which happens a lot with college health. There have been a couple of attempted entries into this market, but none of them came from inside college health, and they failed. I have college health domain expertise. That's my unfair advantage, and I think I can do a lot better than other folks who've thought about this and tried it. So how does it work? Pretty simple. A student gets sick, they contact somebody who is responsible at their institution. If it looks like their problem needs to be seen by a doctor or a psychologist, they're entered into the system. A ping goes out, physician can pick that patient up and take care of them, can send electronic prescriptions to their local pharmacy, can make referrals or refer them for laboratory testing if need be. We combine an electronic health record with a HIPAA-compliant, secure video conferencing platform to do the work. And all this technology is out there. I didn't invent any of this. That's all plug and play. This is off-the-shelf software. So just for fun, I wanted to show you some of the technology that's emerging in this market. This is a little device because people ask me, how do you make a diagnosis without examining a patient? So this little guy is about the size of a tangerine. It has an infrared thermometer that's just sweep past your forehead, grabs an accurate temperature. It has a digital stethoscope to listen to heart, lungs, abdominal sounds. It has a high-definition camera to look at ears, noses, and throats. It uses intelligent technology to identify anatomic structures, so make sure that you're getting the picture that you want, getting it in view. This is routed directly to the electronic health record. I get a picture this big, high-definition image of an eardrum, which is much better than I can do with a little instrument that's handheld. So the beauty of our revenue model is that we're not building the institutions for our bread and butter. We bill patients just like any medical practice. This is more like a medical group. That's very attractive to the institutions themselves. But given the college health domain expertise, we can also add a lot of value-added services and a la carte menu of things like consulting to student affairs staff, health promotion, disease management. What do you do if you get meningitis on your campus? Our overhead is pretty minimal. You can see my office sitting down that little table. It's not a $3 million brick and mortar institution that we're trying to support. We need minimal physical facilities on campuses. Most of the campuses already have something there, a health office, a nurse, what have you. But there are some that have nothing, and we have solutions for that as well. So this is a financial projection sort of based, again, just on that conceptual model. In year one, having those 5 schools, 1 physician, 5 psychotherapists serving that, and then adding each year another 5 schools or another 3,600 students. I think we can do this because my year 5 is really about 1% of the available market. So I'm pretty confident we can get that. This is my team. My wife, Amy Anselmo, is a digital designer. She is also experienced in social media marketing. Greg Connors is the director of IT for the Rutland School District. He uses a lot of this very similar technology in the classroom. He's very familiar with it. Nate Lackman is an ace in the hole. He is one of the foremost attorneys in the U.S. working in this space right now. He just happens to be in the same law firm as my sister-in-law. So Be Well really intends to be the world leader in providing care for this underserved population. That's what we really want to do. Questions?
Two questions. First, I'm having a little hard time understanding who the gatekeeper is. Let's say my son, of course, this has never happened, but when he was in college, let's say he went out and drank too much for us. And he got really sick. This is theoretical. So he's not feeling well. How does he get to see you? Does he have to go to a school nurse? Does he do you contract with me and I say, here you go, use it? Who's the gatekeeper there? And then the other question is, are you doing healthcare and psychology at the same time? Is that maybe too much to bite off? Whatever.
Sure. So the gatekeeper is the institution, and again, most institutions are very familiar with the pain that they have when a student is ill, that they're trying to get to care, especially in a rural place that might not have health services at all. So there's somebody there, and a way, all these institutions, to know what to do when you get sick.
So they have a nurse? Is that what they go to? I'm just wondering, like, again.
Typically.
Okay.
Typically, that's a common model. You'll have a nurse, just sort of like a school nurse anywhere, that's doing some triage. She's seeing, gee, is this something I can handle with a Band-Aid? Does this need to go to the emergency room, or is it in that gray area in between? So that's the person that connects the student with us. And your other question, sorry?
The other question is psychology and medicine at the same time. Is that a little too much?
Yeah.
Just one, maybe focus on one versus the other.
Yeah, so for what we're doing now in terms of doing some validated learning, I just want to focus on the medicine piece of it. But I'm also really prepared if I go to an institution and say, hey, I've got this great idea, do you want this? And if they say, oh, by the way, do you have counseling services? I can do that very quickly as well. And counseling and mental health is a huge main issue in colleges these days if you've ever talked to anybody in the field.
Alan.
So you showed little pictures of things that will allow you to take temperature, check lungs, things like that. Are those necessary for you to do the evaluation through the phone system? And if they are, is that part of a package that the college health office would have? And then my last question is, would somebody have to go through an intermediary, or is this something that I'm home and I don't, it's after hours, my doctor's not available, and can I do this without all those extra instruments?
Sure. So one of the companies I'm working for now is called American Well, and you can go on your cell phone right now, sign up, put in your credit card, and see me or somebody like me without having any of that peripheral equipment on your end. It's, as a physician, for me, I'm less comfortable with that than I am with having some real physical data. But there are lots of things that you can handle that way. In fact, most of the people that are in these direct-to-consumer models are quoting 80 to 90% solving a problem with the first call, the first interaction. And that's just using your phone. Alan, can I see in your throat? You know, you can do it that way. So they're not necessary, but I do think that they're a good thing. And the unit that I showed you, in order to get that into a college, is a $2,500 piece of equipment. The $2,500 comes with a blood pressure cuff and some other things. I want the institution to pick that up because I don't want to get stuck in a position of looking like I'm giving them equipment for referrals.
Keith, I think you were next.
It would seem that there would be a necessity to get the patient's records information, particularly if you're going to do the psychological aspect of it. How does the MD that's on the other end of the line obtain that information? Do they have to go to another computer and gather that while they're doing a FaceTime call, or how does that work?
So typically, with these platforms, there is intake forms. There is something that you go through initially. You know, what is your problem? And we're gathering information. You know, is this appropriate to this means of care? What's your insurance information? Would you like to snap?
Is this all done prior to a medical event?
Yep. So this is a quick registration process that somebody goes through. Now, in schools, they have a lot of the demographic information that I need. So if I was to go to them and say, hey, great, you know, here's my contract, they can usually give me an Excel file that has all their students, their home phone numbers, all their information that I could load into the record, and that's done pretty rapidly.
So they have to pull it up on a separate device then? Wow. You're a doctor, you're having a barbecue on Friday, your family's over, and you get this call, and there's some kid on the other end of the line. I mean, I'm just having a hard time figuring out how does this really work.
Oh, I have all that at hand right now. Probably your doctor does too if they use an electronic health record. It's cloud-based. I can just, if a patient calls me right now, I can run and jump on my computer and look at all the records.
So you have to have a computer and your phone at the same time to do this?
Yeah, so typically, you know, I would see myself at my desk with my computer and all the information there. But like you said, if I'm at a barbecue, I can also still interact with the students. I can do that after hours too. Sort of to Alan's question, there may not be a health center that's open during the day, but all these institutions have campus safety or some security. That's the way we do it at Bennington. If a kid gets sick at night, they go to campus safety, they call me up and we talk. And in fact, I've been seeing some of my students in the after hours using this sort of technology.
I'm going to do David and we have time to.
Healthcare is certainly hot right now. On the financial aspect, I guess I challenge or I struggle with how that model works. Are you just only going to deal with people that have health insurance, or are you going to be a collection source for those that don't?
Sure. So, again, with this population being highly insured, there's only about 6% of college students that don't carry some form of health insurance. And so for those with an indemnity plan, it's to their advantage to me to bill their health insurance because they might have a $20 copay. But half of us who are insured have high deductible health plans. For my family, it's $5,000. So if my daughter's in college and she goes to see somebody and it's going to cost $120, I'm going to have to pay the $120. Because of the cost efficiencies of this kind of operation, we can offer the care for much less. I might charge $75. And as a parent or as a student, I think you'd probably pick the 75 instead of 120.
Charlie?
Yeah, just a note on the technology. You said that everything is plug and play. Is BeWell going to have its own software solution, or are you just plugging in these different third-party services, SaaS, or whatever they are, to kind of construct big puzzle of software?
I don't want to build it. I just want to buy it. And there are probably a dozen platforms out there that I could purchase right now. In fact, in my process right now, I'm using one that's free. I'm using a free electronic health record.
So you're talking about an EMR platform is what you would get, and it has the telemedicine aspect built right in?
The telemedicine platforms are usually separate, but they all have APIs and they offer integration for just about any EHR. So you can pick whatever EHR you like and whichever platform you like, and they usually fit together. And as I said, I'm not trying to invent anything, but they all are white label so that it would look to the consumer as though this is BeWell.
So 2 pieces pretty much to make it work.
Usually 2 pieces. Listen.
One last question. It's going to be kind of quick.
Yeah, just real quick, is there any reason why a properly trained PA or nurse practitioner couldn't be the person on the other end of the line?
Yeah, no reason whatsoever that we couldn't use that. There is supervision issues and those sorts of things, but again, as an MD, I can provide all that. The nurses that are working at these schools right now, they can't bill for their services. In fact, they can't do really anything without a doctor's order. That's just the law. And so that's another thing. If I come to a school that has a registered nurse on staff, I can say, hey, you can bill for the visits that she's doing that I'm not even seeing because I'm supervising. You can bill under my name.
Great, thank you very much.
Last pitch, Scott Trafton with Pool Shark H2O.
Thank you all for coming. So I'm Scott Trafton. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my company, Pool Shark H2O. So you may not be aware, but 80% of commercial pools do not meet health code requirements in the United States. This is typically due to poor water quality and incorrect chemical balance. Last summer, this was highlighted on the world stage at the Rio Olympics when everybody saw the diving pool turn this lovely shade of neon green virtually overnight due to incorrect chemical balance. Now, you may be wondering in the United States whether or not green pools is that big of an issue. But it turns out dirty pool water accounts for 5,000 visits to the emergency room each year, and that's going up year over year. So this can lead to potential lawsuits, lost revenue, and health department fines for pool owners. The current mechanism of swimming pool compliance is extremely outdated. Paper logbooks are time-consuming, they're easy to backdate and forge, which is a big problem for health department officials. They can be lost, and you're in a water environment, so it's pretty easy to get them destroyed. So with the Pool Shark system, we allow you to quickly enter the pool chemical levels using a smartphone, which is in almost everyone's pocket these days. The information is date and time stamped, so it can't be backdated, and it's stored securely in our cloud-based servers, where it can't be lost or altered. Calculating chemical dosages is a time-consuming and complex task for many people, so in the Pool Shark system, we just do it all for you. We do water analysis, we tell you exactly what you need to put in your pool, and make the instructions simple enough that anyone can follow them to keep the water clean regardless of the level of training. We've largely eliminated the need for lifeguards to stop what they're doing and call maintenance or supervisor staff when they test the water and the pool needs attention. Pool Shark system sends out notifications instantly, letting maintenance know all the relevant information so they can decide right away whether they need to stop what they're doing and go back to the pool, or they can go in their regular scheduled rounds. So, pool testing and document retention vary from state to state, sometimes county to county. One pool may need to get tested once a day, others need to get tested every hour. And those logs are usually kept between 1 to 7 years, depending on where you are. So with the Pool Shark system, regardless if you have 1 pool or 1,000 pools, we can keep all your information stored securely in our servers and instantly available. So when that health department official makes a surprise visit to your facility, you can quickly show them the logs using your phone or a computer on site. You can send them an email, or you can even give them a link and they can look at all the real-time logs on their own device. So we have a common SaaS-based revenue model with subscription-based pricing per pool. These are some of our current clients, including the Gaylord Opryland Resort in Nashville and the Oklahoma Row House District, which has a man-made river. It was the home to the Olympic trials for kayaking last year, along with some other cities and towns. We've spanned over 19 states, and we have over 300 pools in our system. So our market is really all the pools inspected by health departments in the United States. There's 360,000 pools and growing each year. These are your town pools, recreation facilities, hotels, and other resorts, and we have the ability to expand to other countries with similar requirements in the future. So marketing to individual commercial pool owners is mainly through our website. We have a free trial that can be up and running with their pool and their staff in about 5 minutes. We've done pay-per-click advertising. We send brochures out to select potential customers. And this year we have a presence in the App Store. So going forward, we're really focusing on our enterprise customers. We're looking for $275,000 in funding to support that effort. This money is going to be used for direct sales at client sites, to access them at trade shows, and also once we get a couple of these on board, we expect to see the referral network effect take place, which is what we're currently seeing with our individual clients. So just to be clear, our enterprise clients, these are hotel chains, property management companies, or pool management companies that have anywhere between 100 and several thousand commercial pools underneath their one umbrella. So our acquisition through our website, about 3% of our visitors sign up for the free trial. 40% of those are converting to paid clients after the trial's over. And over the last 2 years, we've had a 90% renewal rate. So our main competition, amazingly enough, is still paper logbooks. There are several companies that are focused on residential pools, with only a couple that are doing anything for the commercial pool owners as an add-on to an existing product. So our growth strategy is really to focus on those enterprise customers. They have the most number of pools per individual customer, so we'll quickly bring down the customer acquisition cost, which is about $53 right now, and we're looking to be profitable in the next 12 to 18 months. So these are some of our current active contacts. We expect to have a trial going, or a pilot going with American Pool by the end of the summer. And the state of Vermont is very interesting to us, not only because we're here, but they just changed their laws. So starting January 1st, 2018, all commercial pool owners are going to have to test the pool water and keep records. So we can provide a white label or branded version of the Pool Shark system to every commercial pool owner in Vermont, giving them the full benefits of the system. But additionally, we can provide the health department inspectors real-time access to all those logs so they can focus on the problem areas first to make their job more efficient and to keep us all safe. This is something that's not available to any other health department that we're aware of. So our team, my brother Todd and myself, are the founders of the Pool Shark system. Todd owns our family campground in Maine. We have a commercial swimming pool there. So between the two of us, we've taken care of that pool for the last 30 years or so. I'm a software engineer and serial entrepreneur. I work with a lot of different startups and large companies building record-keeping systems, very similar to the Pool Shark system, for banks and insurance companies. And this year we brought on Don Kamalian Sr. He has tons of experience in the sales space, and he's helping us to get in front of our enterprise clients. Just in summary, we're currently in production. We have 35 clients across 19 states. We have over 70,000 tests recorded in our system so far. We're looking for funding to support our sales and marketing to enterprise clients. And as of actually 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, we got our first investor on board. So we're pretty excited about that. There's room for a couple more if any of you are interested. Our website and my contact information is below if you'd like to reach me after today. Thank you.
There you go.
Scott, thank you for your presentation. I'm not a great pool user, but after your data, I will be even less. So, I believe you have a good solution to a real problem. The fact that, as in the last slide, your major effort will be in sales and marketing, because probably will cost a lot of time and effort to reach all the potential customers. Have you considered to sell your solution to someone that has already this connection? For instance, they want to make the chemicals for the swimming pool and then get royalty from that?
Sure, no, that's a great question. So we actually have a potential partnership starting in August with Mertha Pools. They're a big pool manufacturer, commercial pool manufacturer. They're partnered with USA Swimming, and they essentially only do commercial pool and competition pool. But they have, they warranty all their pools, and they essentially have the same issue that the health department does. Because if the warranties go bad, the only really evidence they have is the paper logbooks, which can be backdated and forged. So they are finishing up 3 pools, which they need warranty work on this year, and they're going to be using our product. They actually wrote it in their contract. They will do the warranty work, but going forward, those 3 pools have to use the Pool Shark system in order for them to pay for the warranty going forward. So some that we're working on those.
Sorry, a brief follow-up. How much you are asking and which condition?
Sure. So the cost is $195 for a body of water for a seasonal, year-round pool. And then the seasonal pools, it comes to about $65. We're changing it to monthly pricing at $16.50 a month. So it's about $65 for your seasonal pools here in New England from Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Okay, so great presentation. We saw you present last year, which is awesome as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you're the only one in the competition right now, or you have no competition, this cloud-based, right?
To this extent,
To this
yes.
extent.
There's
So,
yeah.
so since last year, 2016, can you give us an update of what traction you've gotten just in the last year?
Sure.
It looks like a lot from what we saw before.
Sure, absolutely. So we last fall, we moved all of our services over to Amazon, which allows us to expand a lot on the cloud base. We had Green Mountain Software help us out building the iPhone app, which gave us a lot of traction because now we have the ability to do offline recording. Because a lot of pools are downstairs in the basement, there's no cell phone service. So we have that going on, and that also gives us the notification and some of our patents that we had for location. So now we can geocode. So if you have your lifeguards that are testing the water, you can now tell that they're actually at your pool and not sitting at home watching Netflix. Testing the pool, we scan where they are. And this spring we have brought on, I think, almost 20 new customers, which almost doubled the number of customers.
Great.
Good job.
It's Keith and then Richard.
Has Don Hamillion started to work with you yet? If he's the author of the Xerox PSS2 program, he's got to be one of the greatest salespeople on the planet.
Yes.
Is he working for you now?
He is. He's working with us. He actually got us the contact to American Pools, which we went down and talked to in late May, I think it was.
And if I could just follow up, is there a program that applies the chemicals to the pool automatically too? Is there a way to do that, or is it still a manual process?
So it's a manual process because this, so it's probably a 2-part question. So a lot of our customers currently have automated controllers, which will put chemicals in the pool. And some of those controllers will automatically log the chemicals, but none of the states will allow those as legal record because the Olympic pool, the nice green one in the beginning, had the same controllers. The states want to make sure they don't, no one fills up those things and goes off and does their other work and no one checks on it for weeks or in this case days with the Olympic pool and has the same thing happen. So they require everyone to actually test the pool manually.
It seems like this would close the loop on
Richard, you were next.
Yeah, so great presentation. So it looks like you've got essentially an app that logs the information. Do you have any links to sensors that would be in the pool, or things like pH, whatever, that kind of stuff? So are you relying on manual input?
Right. Right now we're relying on manual input to get that state requirement, basically, because they won't allow the automated sensors. The holy grail essentially is to have a sensor package that you could have someone put in the pool. and push a button and upload everything right to your cell phone, which then gets, hopefully would solve all those problems, but at the moment, we're just manual enter until.
Okay, so how do you differentiate between what you've got and say any other kind of, data logging system, survey, whatever, that could be online as well?
Sure. So, good question. Essentially, it's all the analysis, the water analysis that's in there, the alert system can send out alerts. So you can use a spreadsheet to do that, but there's nothing preventing you from going in today and entering your logs, backdating your logs from last week into that spreadsheet. Whereas with our system, it's date time stamped on the server. So when you put it in, it's in there. And once they're saved, it can't be changed.
You're gonna go to Gary next? Same question, okay. Chris?
You seem to mention a couple of times the logs can be falsified in terms of the dates. Have you ever tried to work with the health department to sell them on a product that you can't forge if this is really a matter of public health?
So we are looking to do that, getting access, and that's what Don is going to be helping us with, to access some of those health departments, because all the inspectors' emails are online, and you can reach them, so we're going to be following up and reaching out to a lot of those health departments and seeing if we can get some meetings in there.
Is that not a relicensable product to the municipalities or the authorities, right? Is that not something you should just relicense so they require them to use it as a byproduct of their pool?
Yes, that's what we'd like to do, and we can white label our product and allow them to essentially mandate it or sell it however they want to do it for their district, and then we just provide all the services to run the servers and everything for them.
Heidi, one last question.
It seems to me that the pH tester is probably basically a lot more to this. You can do them in the soil. Would that be a second product where you could automate this process even more and have the geo-targeting and have the date stamp that's all, so it's ironclad?
Yeah, there are definitely different avenues that can expand to be able to do things like that. Water testing for your wells, which in different water venues around here have similar requirements for states and regulatory, so that may be something that we can
If you could partner with
moving forward in
somebody
the
who's already
future.
got one, buy it, hook it up to your system.
Right.
We can do one more question, Dimitri says. Ellen?
I'm not sure if I missed it. Did you tell us how much you're looking to raise and what you're offering?
Sure, so we're looking for $275,000. What we're looking to raise, we got a little less than half of that from one investor, so, and we're offering equity at about a $2 million valuation.
Thanks.
Good, thank you very much. We will need about 5 minutes or so to get the scores tabulated.
Yeah, no.
And the winner is Vault.